All right, it's time to talk about all the fun and exciting things going down this week in Reddit, and we're going to start off with a report on OTAs. Okay, so this is it. It's an interesting time of the year. Here we are sitting here with the draft is over. Free agencies, I mean, the big splashes are over in free agency. We've got our team kind of pretty much put together here, and it's time to start installing things and getting everything ready to go. We're hungry for football. we want that football. This is kind of football. There's a lot to talk about. There's things going on. What do you think from everything you've heard about OTAs so far? Where's your head at? Are you excited for this team? How do you think it's put together overall?
If you're asking me to get excited about volunteer off-season training stuff, I'm not.
You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring the room down. It's just like of all the off-season things that I get excited
about. See you guys in August.
I don't mean to be that way about it. It's just that of all the off-season things to get excited about, I feel like OTAs are very bottom.
Okay, I'm going to tell you
but
what.
I mean, at the same time, it's not like we're about to enter a drought here. So
yeah,
I'll take what I can get.
Instead of your report, because obviously you suck at this, let's hear what Matthew Stafford has to say.
How far along are you in your assimilation to the new playbook?
I think as far along as I should be. There's obviously a ton more to learn. And a ton more to, the base of the kind of stuff is in there, but you got to be able to play fast, think fast, signal, checks, all that kind of stuff is the second, kind of the second level to it. But I think our guys are doing a great job of diving in. Bev's doing a great job of teaching. Our assistant coaches are doing a great job. So it's on everybody to dive in and make sure that they're ready to go.
How much time a week do you put into learning the new plays, whether it's here or at home or whatever?
What are we allowed to have? CBA 4 hours here, 6 hours. Something like that. No, a lot of time, especially I think as a quarterback. I got to be the coach in the huddle too. There's questions that come up when we're installing a new offense. We break the huddle. Maybe a guy's got a question or a spot. Hey, am I lining up here, there? What do I have? I've got to be able to be on top of it and communicate it correctly. So, I've quite a bit of time.
OTAs in that regard. Now you can do 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-on-11. See the defenses. Do you just take kind of a jump forward in OTAs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think generally speaking, the more guys you got on the field, whether it's 1-on-1s to 7-on-7 to full team periods, the more real football is, the more your awareness has to be heightened and things are stressed. Communication is stressed, alignment is stressed, assignment, all of that kind of stuff. So it's good for us to get out there and for our guys running routes to run them against the defense, our guys up front to block blitzes and certain protections and all that. So it's a lot of fun. It's more fun than just throwing routes on air, that's for sure.
Can you already tell how different the offense is going to be as far as emphasis and stuff?
Emphasis-wise, it's a little bit tough to say at the point. At this point, we're still just kind of putting the basics in. Verbiage-wise, sure. I mean, it's completely different, way different. But like I said, I think guys are doing a great job of diving in and trying to, you got to learn what to do so you can go out and compete. Those guys that are running around trying to think, it's tough to compete that way. So everybody's doing a great job of trying to learn as much as they can so they can go out there and fly around.
Learning a new scheme, guys often say they try to relate it to something they've done in the past. Just wondering, is there any similarities or overlaps to?
Yeah, is there similarities or overlaps? I got that one cut off. Sorry about that. Interesting. Staff talks about it. This is really about getting the offense, the defense, the players accustomed to the scheme, the changes in plays year over year. This is the stuff that to only the hardest of hardcore fans is interesting, right? A lot of the nuance to what we're seeing happen in OTAs, it definitely plays out in how the team plays. There's no question. But most fans don't understand it. And that's what makes it hard, I think, to really get stoked about OTAs, especially when the dead zone. The dead zone is coming after that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's not my favorite of the off-season, things. I mean, the best thing that we get from it is what you just played. Mm-hmm. The straight from the lion's mouth. stuff from, Stafford and Patricia, and every fan, if you want to try to get a pulse on what's going on with this team, what's going on in the minds of these guys, that's the way to do it, is listening to those guys. You can look at, pictures and video from the OTAs, but you're not going to learn a lot from that. You can hear things about, Tease Tabor making 2 interceptions, but you're not necessarily going to learn a lot from that. It's easy to get way over or, underhyped about certain scenarios in OTAs, because a lot of guys this is their very first action in the NFL, or it's their very first action in this season under a new offensive coordinator, those kind of things. You're not going to necessarily learn a lot about what to expect going forward, but just to gauge the mood of the team, that's the best you can draw from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like he said, there's something that happens for players. There's a shift that happens for young guys and guys in a new system, where you move from thinking about it to actually just doing it. And Matthew's dead right. I've seen it. It's true, not just in sports, but in business. When people have to stop and think about what they're doing, it's not as smooth, it's not as quick, it's not as efficient, and it can cause problems. Just knowing your job and knowing the nuances of your job is huge. And it's a big deal. That's what they're getting. That's the kind of stuff. It's not interesting for most people in their jobs, and it's not super interesting either for football players, right? I mean, for fans to watch with football players. There's always diehard, for lack of a better term, nerds, right? Some people, like, again, I'm going to go to the agile thing, and I have a couple friends on Twitter who I really hurt every time I mention agile, because they're like, I want to listen to football and it's work again. But there's people that dive into that and really, really appreciate the nuances of a scrum master. and those people really do exist. I promise you. They're not a large number as NFL fans and football fans, but there's football fans that really love the pieces and dots. This is also a kind of treacherous time of year, because you get guys like Chad Forbes, who put out crazy things and then claim their Twitter was hacked, and it's all kind of meaningless garbage. Or who
you have Reuben Foster,
who has other things.
Tears his ACL, and shock that Reuben Foster is hurt again. But after Washington spent a huge amount of money on him, I shouldn't call it huge compared to what he's done so far in the NFL. And then that happens, that those are the scary things.
Sure.
It's more almost I pay more attention to it, out of like, please, nothing bad happen than.
yeah, absolutely. So that's really where things are right now. I mean, you get crappy reporting and reporters that claim their Twitter was hacked because they said something that maybe was not popular, and then you get this. I wouldn't put a whole lot of I wouldn't put a whole lot of emphasis on where a team's going right now, but you can definitely get a feeling for some of the players as well. I want to move on a little bit. There's something that we can talk about coming up on August 3rd. We'll confirm on June 11th when the announcement is made, but we're 100% sure, 99.999% sure, August 3rd is our training camp party. This is going to be big. This is going to be huge. We've got some huge guests that you will want to see. And I say, there's an S on that, guests. And they're coming down there. We're going to have our prizes. We've got a couple of big announcements ahead of it. There's a big event going on. Besides, we're going to do a live podcast. There's also a huge rollout that's happening there that you guys, it's a really, really big deal. Tickets absolutely will be sold out before the event, so you're not going to get a chance to buy them at the door. So we're going to have a lot more to talk about it, though, at that. But get your calendar clear for the night of August 3rd. I just clear out the whole day. Go up to training camp with us. It's going to be Zach Center Day at training camp. Case and I will be there with a whole bunch of other people. It's going to be a riot. And then into the night, we have that party coming up, and it's going to be it's just going to be off the damn book. So make sure to clear your calendar and get ready for that. You guys will not want to miss this. I promise you. All right, so let's move on. Big one from Pro Football Talk, which is really the kind of penultimate reporting center for football information. Everyone looks to Pro Football Talk for their classy takes and their insider info and always being right. Lions are moving Frank Ragnow to center. That is their headline. It was posted in the subreddit by God of Tits and Wine. Gotta love that. And I've got to put. There's a couple audio pieces, and I want to get them in there. Okay, so the first one I'm going to play Frank Ragnow, his interview, and the talk about him moving to center.
What's it like being at center now? That's kind of surprising to us. What is it for you?
Oh, it's good. I've obviously played the position in college, and I know this is going to sound boring, but I mean, you play what you can play. I think it adds value to you as a person the more you can do, and I'm just trying to fit my role, whatever role they pick me to choose.
How different is it going? Was it going from center to left guard, and now from left guard to center?
Well, I think the transition to left guard was a little more difficult because I haven't played it before, and center I have played before, so there's definitely some experience there. So I'd say it's, I guess, a little smoother, but there's definitely those bumps and bruises along the way for sure.
And what about making calls and all that for stuff like that, and sort of being like the captain in the middle?
I enjoy that part of the game. That was a part of the game I really enjoyed in college, making all the calls, kind of leading the guys. But like I've said before, I mean, this offensive line room is so unique that it's like there's 5 centers up front. Everybody's talking, everybody's communicating, so it's great.
So last year you come in, you have to learn the first year of the Lions offense, and now you come in and Bevel's here. And how different are things, and how much more of a learning curve is it again for you?
Things are definitely different, verbiage-wise and everything, but I mean, a lot of the things are similar. You're just using different words, and you just gotta find ways to relate it and connect it and kind of put it all together.
In terms of footwork and all that, from what you did at center and at Arkansas here, is that pretty much a lot of that stuff the same in terms of balance and leverage?
Yeah, very similar. At Arkansas, I was blessed to play in a pro-style offense, and it's transitioned pretty well here. So that footwork-wise, it's not much of a crazy change.
When were you aware that this was going to happen? Was this...
We've kind of cross-trained my whole time here. So, I mean, it's just kind of whatever they tell me to go, I'm going to go, and I'm going to try to do it to my best of my ability. So it's kind of been throughout the spring. We've been moving around and everything.
There's always moving pieces, coaches, players, and whatnot, but one more year under Matt Patricia, how much more do people kind of know what to expect coming in and the work that you need to put in and familiarity with that type of coaching and whatnot and system?
Yeah, I think anywhere you go, anything you do, the more comfortable are you with someone, the more you know someone, the better everything's going to mesh. And I think we were definitely learning this culture. I'm not going to say anything about this year, but I mean, we're working hard, and everybody's starting to work hard. And day to day, we're coming in and we're training, and that's kind of the culture I think Coach Patricia's really trying to build. Is just one day at a time, hard work, and that'll get you where you want to be.
Do you notice any changes in him or his demeanor, or just the way he approaches things this year? Maybe being a little more comfortable in his.
I'm not a rookie anymore, so I don't have to deal with the rookie treatment, but otherwise, he's the same guy, and I respect that about him. He's consistent every single day.
If this offense is more round and pound, like you sort of think it is with Darrell Bevell, is that something you would embrace?
Yeah, I think up front, as an offensive lineman, most offensive linemen would say they really enjoy the running part of the ball, run blocking and everything, but like I said, whatever we need to do to win, I think of all 5 of us up front are going to do that to win.
A couple more guys. Yeah, what is the biggest difference for you in this year's camp as opposed to last year? In other words, comfort level, whatever it is.
Oh, just the more you play at any level, the more you do something, the game slows down. And I've definitely noticed that just these 2 OTAs, it's slowed down for you. That rookie year is quite the whirl when you're going from this, there, that. You never really get to catch your breath. So this offseason was good for me to get in the weight room and get working, but also to just catch my breath and kind of realize, all right, I'm here and now let's get to work.
What was it like to have TJ Lang out here yesterday, not in pads, not working with you guys, and is he kind of someone who can give advice to you now, specifically with right guard, now that's kind of an area you're getting a little bit of work in?
TJ definitely is just such a great resource, and he made sure before he retired, he reached out to all of us and made sure to let us know that he's here no matter what, and it's great to have him around, and whatever he can offer, I'll take, because he's done it at this level at a high level.
Have you put on any muscle mass or weight over the season?
I don't know the specifics. Does it look like it?
A little bit.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know the specifics, but I've been working hard, so hopefully, yeah.
So was that your aim though?
Yeah, definitely every offseason trying to get leaner and leaner you can.
You guys have been in the building for a little bit already.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like getting out here on the field? How does it change things?
Well, it's great. It's football now. I mean, you got, with all the rules and everything, you've got so much you can do, but it's good to get out here and play football. That's what we're here for.
Frank, it's another year under Matt.
Last one, guys.
What have you noticed in his mindset coming
He's incredible, man. I mean, you really can't describe the guy. He's just a great leader for all of us. Everybody looks up to him. He's an incredible person. I remember watching him as a kid, and now I'm playing with him. He's an incredible leader, so it's great to be around him.
Thanks, Frank. I really appreciate you saying that about me. I needed that kind of support when I was. Anyway, the one thing that I think for Frank Ragnow that's going to be a big deal, and I've noticed this more and more every year. These kids come out of college and they're great players and they're athletic and they do all these things very well. But it is that strength and conditioning that happens, that there's a huge change from that rookie season until stepping into that sophomore season, right? And Ragnow's had a lot of time. He has had an off season, as he said. He's had the conditioning, the nutrition, all the things along with that. I expect really big things out of him this year. Sounds like he's playing center, doesn't
it? That headline definitely makes it sound like he's playing center.
Even talking to Mike O'Hara, he's the Lions, one of the 3 Lions reporters. Tori was in there as well, asking questions. I mean, they were. It was a foregone conclusion in this, and I want to line that up because I love Mike O'Hara, right? But I want to just go ahead and say, let's get the next piece, because Stafford comes in and talks a little bit about it. And it starts with a question directly from Mike O'Hara. And I want you to listen very carefully.
Looks like Ragnow's going to play center now. How important is it for you to...
Must know something I don't. What's up?
Well, age 77, he was the guy who was bent over in front.
Oh, okay.
He talked about a little bit, but he's played it before in college. But what is, getting the chemistry between the two of you, how important is that as soon as you can?
I honestly think that, this time of year is perfect to kind of move guys around. I think Graham's had a chance to play center and guard in this league before. Frank's really only had the chance to play guard. Obviously played center in college. I think it's important for guys in our system. I think you hear it once or twice before, but being able to position flexibility, being able to play a bunch of different positions and all that is important. So both offensively and defensively, but I think it's good for all those guys to kind of move around on the inside and figure out down the road where we're playing guys we'll figure it out.
What the hell's happening?
I feel like Stafford just channeled the inner me.
Yeah, I know.
That was me.
My favorite part was because it started out with Mike O'Hara, and again, I love this guy to death. He is old school Detroit. He is embedded in this city. He's a part of it. So please don't take this the wrong way. But he was damn confident talking to Ragnow. So you're playing center, blah, 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 and it was just a foregone conclusion. And then he does the same thing to Stafford, and Stafford just slaps him and says, "Oh, something that I don't. What's up?" It's like, oh, backpedal. He was bent over in front of you. Okay. Oh, okay. And they went into it. This is now the only thing I can say is we had a little bit of the same kind of thing last year where Ragnow was playing left guard, and we were like, whoa, timeout. What do they do? They're just flexing there, position flexibility. He's going to be back at center. Glasgow, he snaps the ball funny. We're not going to have him at center, and all year Glasgow snapped that ball. Can we say now, based on last year, that he's playing center for sure?
Tough call, but I mean, Glasgow certainly improved his center play over last offseason,
sure,
and earned the right to that job. But ultimately, all I care about, it doesn't matter to me which one plays what position. It just matters to me that they did figure out where each one can be that makes the line as a whole better. Mm-hmm. Even if Ragnow would be the better center, if Glasgow would then be a liability at guard, then we have a problem. So it's just like a combination of who plays what role that makes the whole thing better. And I assume that's what they're trying to find out.
Yeah.
You gotta test those things around. And believe me, I really thought that Ragnow was going to immediately come in and be the center. Yeah, so I was very surprised, and I had to eat some crow over it, and that's okay. It's not the first time I've had to eat crow, but it did surprise me.
But think about this. This may be part of the bigger plan. The trade away of Tate last year, some of the other things going on. I kind of feel like maybe, not that it was a throwaway year, but it was a shifting year for this team, and I absolutely agree with that. They knew it. So they put Ragnow in as a guard and Graham Glasgow in as a center because they were prepping for kind of a backup role, a backup position, right? I mean, I'm not saying this is a little over the top to say they tanked a year because I don't think they tanked, right? But they were working on some other things. After a year of that strength and conditioning, exactly what we talked about, that nutrition, that bulking up, right? Am I bigger, honey? Right? That question he asked. He may be now ready to play center in a way for the NFL that he wasn't last year and do it more successfully, right? I mean, because part of that game and making those calls, you talk about the speed of the game and people thinking too much when they're playing and not able to react. He's now kind of seen it for a year. He's had the situation as a guard, right, to be able to see a center do that work, and now he can step in and make those calls and do that. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but that may be the result of what happened and how things were set up last year that sets this team up for a pretty damn good offensive line this year, the way things are laying out. And I'm going to tell you, any team would love to have 4 out of 5 guys as preferred guys in those positions.
Absolutely. I just don't think it'll be until training camp that we get a really, like the actual, summer training camp, that we get a better picture of who's going to be starting.
Yep, for sure. Well, it's a good time to get your Ragnow jersey because he's going to be as a center, as Case said. And, of course, you got Hawkinson, who's got a great jersey out there. There's all those things moving around. How do you do that? Well, you head on over to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. You click on the Fanatics link. It'll take you over. You can get your Lions ashtray. You can get your welcome mat. You can get your umbrella. You can get your rain slicker. You can get, I don't think they have Lions condoms yet, but they should be coming soon. Anything you want that's Detroit Lions themed, you can get from Fanatics. DetroitLionsPodcast.com/nothing. Just go there, DetroitLionsPodcast.com, and click on the Fanatics link and get your stuff. They give us a kickback, and it's a great way to support this show and the site by doing something you are going to do anyway. So thank you everyone who goes there and get your Lions gear now from there and help us out because we appreciate it. All right, let's going to move on. Slay and Snacks, 2 big names missing from OTAs that was posted in the subreddit by the Lioness. Case, does it mean they've quit? Are they trading away? Is this a Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson moment? Is it what's happened? What's happened to these guys? Have they given up on the team?
We're going to talk about Sue again here in a minute, but I remember Sue not going to voluntary training.
And look what happened to him. He left.
Well, yeah. But I mean, he was always, when he actually got to, mandatory training camp, he was always in perfect shape. Now, there are some aspects of the things that he did that may have been detrimental in terms of team building. And like there have been things that
eating their femur on the field. Do you think that was
That's not what I'm referring to. I'm just saying that like he was a little standoffish, that kind of thing. I think that it's very common and it's easy when it's on your team to freak out about it. But I think if you looked around the league, there's a lot of players overall in this league who are not attending OTAs. Even guys like OBJ is not for the Browns, even though he's brand new there and spoke very highly of his, thoughts on the Browns. He's not attending voluntary off-season training.
That's who's beating Chad Forbes ass. But no, you're right. Let me go to that a little bit too. There's a couple things in that. With Sue, you kind of knew who he was, and there was a personality thing going on, right? It just he came back, he was ripped, he was ready, but it was like he just kind of was special, and I'm sure teammates looked at him as he's kind of special. You look at a guy like Slay, you look at a guy like Snacks. Snacks is a great example. He played 17 games last year, right? Yeah. In the regular season, he's the first guy in like 436 years to do that. I think that's the official statistic. He came in, he played all those games, and what did he do? He was a teammate from day one. And you watch them on Twitter and how they're interacting. People on the team and the players absolutely love Snacks on their team. And as a player, and even former players love him. He's just one of those guys. This is not a standoffish thing. He played an extra game in the regular season last year. I'm not worried about Snacks at all. He's a class act who works hard and knows how hard he has to work. And he's putting it in when he has to. Same thing with Slay, right? Here's a guy, I don't want to say he's old, but he's getting a little bit older, right? He's had a couple of injuries
at the peak of his peak.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's
had a couple of injuries. It doesn't make sense to expose his body to those kinds of injuries. Now he's a key player for us in defense. Him not being there doesn't worry me. Doesn't worry me in the least. He's got a good contract. Everything's in place for him to make everything work out. So I don't think there's anything to worry about Slay and Snacks being there. Fight me.
I really don't.
Fight me.
You know, we can sit here and say that, and then something could come out tomorrow, but like totally wreck our shit. But at this point in time, I think, you know, any like every time this happens, you know, I see posts about it on the sub all the time too. You know, people panicking, and fortunately, and in the favor of the subreddit, usually the most upvoted comment is relax, doesn't mean anything, this is normal. That's really all you need to know. Relax, this doesn't mean anything, it's normal.
All right, we're gonna move on, and we will talk about just that fella. Drew Carew 98 posted a big one. Ndamukong Suh has moved away. Let's see, he started with Detroit, he made it to Miami, to the Rams. He found his home in the Rams. No, he's dumping down to, he's local to me, down here with the Bucks. And the Bucks, who look to be, I don't know what's going to happen with Gerald McCoy. He wants to go somewhere. I don't know if it's here, but Suh seems to be a decent replacement. I got to tell you, Suh and McCoy together would be a hell of a combo to play against. And
except that they're basically like, they're so similar.
So they both take up two players?
Right.
They're both three
techs. They're both three techs. They're both in their 30s, so they're probably on the downspin of their careers. There's some obvious, issues for both of them. McCoy has had health issues. Suh, since he over the last couple of years hasn't necessarily put in the kind of effort that he used to until, the playoffs last year when he showed up for real. But there may be some motivation issues with him.
Could be.
I think that in terms of raw talent, Suh was always the better player. In terms of consistency, McCoy was probably the better player. So it's a tough, which one do you?
Yeah, the thing is with Suh, when I come down to it, I feel like there's a little bit of a grumpiness towards Detroit. I don't know that there should be, but I just feel like he's got a little bit stuck in his craw.
I definitely say that, and I think it's not totally similar from Ebron. He actually handled a lot better than Ebron did.
Yeah, well, of course,
but I mean, he got a lot of hate. From Lions.
He should have. I
won't argue with that at all. But I mean, from his mindset, if he didn't feel he deserved it,
of course,
it's not a surprise.
But then he went there, and he has to know his stats from when he landed in Miami. He has to know how he performed. He has to also know that he wound up in LA and didn't do anything till the playoffs, right? I just don't like the idea that he's got a reason to play well in his mind against the team. And that team is us, and we've got to face him 2 years in a row because he can do real damage. He's a damn good player, and that's just the part that really frustrates me. We were so good and got away from him for so long, and now he's back. All right.
How did he do against us the last time he played us?
Nobody knows because there was nothing going on. All right, really quick, I want to talk about Amazon. Everybody shops at Amazon. Do you shop at Amazon, Case?
Of course I do.
Do you use that Amazon Prime?
Of course I do.
Do you watch those Amazon Prime movies? Of course you do. Anyone who uses Amazon Prime in any way or any shape or any form, if you don't have the Prime, of course, get it this way. But any of your shopping you want to do, even if you have Prime already and you've been there a million times, head over to DetroitLionsPodcast.com, click on the link to Amazon from here, and it'll take you there. No funny stuff, no pop-ups, no nothing, and a little kickback from everything you buy comes our way, helps pay for the servers and all the other stuff that we do to make the show better for you guys. So go on over, DetroitLionsPodcast.com, click the Amazon link, and then you just shop as normal. Do your thing. Nobody knows anything other than Amazon gets a little cookie from us, and they say, God, it's Chris and Case. God, I love those guys. I'm going to give them a kickback on this. And it allows you to support the show by doing something you were going to do anyway. Go get yourself a jersey from Fanatics, and then come back to Detroit Lions Podcast.com again and use that Amazon link. It's a great way to find much love from us. All right, we're going to move on. Kelly Stafford update, because this is a big deal. And maybe I should do the Taste of the Lions update first. Let me do that first. I'm going to flip the script a little here on a case. Our massive bullet points that drive the show. Got to do Taste of the Lions last week. Was in town, spent some time in Detroit. Folks who follow us on Twitter will see that I was spending some time with Dean Blandino. If you watch your buddy's pizza feed, and I think you should, you'll see that we were doing some filming there with Dean and I, and we got some good stuff coming out about that. Check that out. We'll have some teasers coming up. Really cool stuff we did. That was a lot of fun. Some cameos from some cool people. But rolling around, and then my plus one for Taste of the Lions was Dean Blandino. You want to have a good time, man. There was one guy who cornered Dean. There wasn't a lot of people who recognized it. Even Tori Petrie, when we talked to her, she didn't realize who Dean was. He was standing right behind me, and she stared at him. And there was a couple of people. One guy cornered Dean and said, hold on. I need you to record. I'm going to record you right now. Was that pass interference in Dallas? And he's like, yeah. That was pass interference. Shouldn't have picked up the flag, right? You got me. Oh, my God. Like, there was a couple people that recognized, but mostly he and I rolled through pretty much undetected. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of players. Talked to Stafford, gave him the best wishes for Kelly. We'll talk about that a little bit. Trey Flowers was there. I missed Martha. I'm really disappointed. I missed Patricia and Quinn as well. I was so freaking angry. I had the VIP thing going on. I went through there and did that, but they came a little bit later. I got there, I guess, too early and passed through all the VIP stuff before they showed up, so I missed out on it. That's kind of a drag, but met a bunch of players. Zach Zenner, I got to hold his hand. Got to talk a little bit about Zach Zenner Day coming up. He was excited about that. He laughed. Had some fun. Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, like old brothers. Check this out. For the YouTube folks, we'll just put this on the cam. Look at this. All the guys I met are all on here. You got Frank Ragnow there. You got Eric Hill in there. Matthew Stafford. Who else? Ashawn. I
thought I saw that on there.
I can tell you, Ashawn looks even 10 years older in person than he is in the pictures. He is a big man. I'm going to tell you, a lot of the guys there, even Ragnow and Glasgow, I look, they're football players, they're NFL guys. But I was like, I'm not, like, these guys aren't massive. And I remember, maybe it's because I was a younger kid growing up with the players and whatever, but they were really big dudes. There's a little bit of a difference. I think the idea of speed in the NFL has taken over just massive size. I think there's a real push towards that, and it's changed the frames of the players. But really great event. I recommend anybody that is in Detroit or that can get in Detroit, head to that Taste of the Lions event. The food was amazing. Billy Sims, who will be on again here in the offseason for us.
Is he serving food?
His barbecue was there, yeah.
Yeah.
And the hot barbecue sauce, it wasn't like just like most people when they do something hot, they just grind a bunch of fucking habaneros in there and try to burn your face off, right? That was great. His hot barbecue sauce was amazing. The flavor was just booming, and then there was the smoke, the heat. It was. I have to find a way to get that, so we'll talk to him about that. We got Lem Barney, met him. He's going to be on the show as well. We'll have him. Eric Hipple, who has a whole his a background with Eric Kramer and some of the stuff that went on there. He has a really interesting, I'll just say rap, for lack of a better term, to go. He'll be on as well. We got some good guys coming in the off season, and we've talked to them, lined them up. But a lot of great long past, recent past, and present Lions players there. It was a really good event. So anyone who gets a chance, I recommend Taste the Lions at least once. And if you're going to do it, just drop the cash in the VIP and do the full experience. It's amazing. I walked out of there so damn full after not eating. We started, so that day, it's kind of funny. We hit our shoot all day, and then the next day as well. I only got 2 hours of sleep before the shoot that day because I was just, all the details and everything were in my mind, and I couldn't shake them. It was keeping me awake all night. Got my 2 hours of sleep, cracked out of the bed at 6:30 in the morning, went out. We shooting video. You can see on Twitter, we went all over town, did a bunch of stuff. Got all the way through, and then literally went from our last location shot over to the Taste of the Lions, and then did that till like 9:30 or whatever, and finally got home and just literally passed out. It was a long, long day, but good stuff there. Next day shooting. Taste of the Lions, good stuff. A lot of good stuff from the players. And I'm just going to say that ZZ, he knows who you are, Case. I just want you to know that. All right, we'll move on. Kelly Stafford. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, no, that's wonderful. I'm just happy he knows who I am.
All right, I'll move on to Kelly Stafford update. I think this is a good thing to kind of keep tuned in on. It's an important thing and could have a long standing effect on the team. I met Matthew Stafford at Taste of the Lions. I want to talk about that. He was just a little fella. And I know he was a chunker or whatever before as he got out of college, but there's all kinds of reasons for that. But he was as thin as I've ever seen him. And when I see my picture next to him, he is really super, super lean, and I'm nervous for him. I'm hoping he's eating and doing all the things. Somebody send him some ziti. Come on, my friends, get him some ziti over there. Make him fill out a little. I don't want him to crack when he gets hit this year because it was a little scary to see how thin he was. All right, Kelly Stafford update. Got some interesting stuff. She posted on Instagram a picture of her. She went to her friend's wedding, and again, I got to go to Matthew. I got to allude to him. The picture, he's got his JMS, John Matthew Stafford, loafers on, I guess I'm going to say. They look like slippers that I wear around the house, but maybe they're just really rich guys' dress shoes. I don't know. It was a look that I'm not super familiar with. Put it that way. Maybe my first 100 million, I'll understand what's going on. They look how comfortable is hell. But he stood there, and Kelly was dressed beautifully in a dress. Like, I mean, in the picture they showed, you couldn't tell that she'd been through anything. It was great, and it was a big workup for her to make it. They did ask Staff about Kelly, and he did a little bit of an update after saying he didn't want to today in the OTA interviews.
I mean, I'm not going to, do too much up-to-date stuff with her just because I think she does a pretty good job of keeping you guys posted. Everybody has been, I know that she's extremely thankful for everybody that's reached out. We've had tons of flowers, notes, candies, all that kind of stuff sent into the house. And, just happy for the support. It's been overwhelming, I know, for her and for me and our whole family. So we really appreciate it. She's tough. She's doing a heck of a job. It's a lot to go through for anybody, especially a mother of three and a wife to somebody that's got a high-profile job like myself. So she's doing a heck of a job keeping it all together, and had a lot of family and friends support too. Her mom was in town for over a month, and she was incredible. Let me do it what I'm able to do here. Let me be back here as she helped take care of Kelly, and obviously Tatiana, the lady that helps us with our kids, was incredible too. She's a part of our family that's irreplaceable. So it's been all hands on deck for quite a while, but it's good for me to get back here with these guys and play some football too.
How tough was that for you?
Excuse me?
Was it tough for you to put that to work? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody sits there and thinks about how they're going to have to handle that situation. I wasn't thinking about it too much. I was really just trying to make sure that my wife was okay. And, like I said, she's tough. She was telling me to get the heck out of the house and go take care of what I need to take care of. And obviously the people here have been incredible. Mrs. Ford has reached out to, myself and Kelly a bunch. Bob and all those guys upstairs have been great and letting me come back kind of at my own pace, and obviously Coach Patricia as well. So I've got an obligation to this team, that I love fulfilling. I want to be here. We've got a new offense. I'm having a blast trying to learn it and teach these guys as well. But at the same time, I had a lot going on at home, and they were really flexible with me and letting me, kind of come in on some off hours and make sure that I was, taking care of my obligation, my duty to the team, and then being able to be at home as well.
You get a different perspective on people, Matthew, in a situation like this. In other words, you see a different side of them. It's not just football.
Yeah, with everybody involved, my wife included. It's everybody. So things like these, situations like this, change your perspective on a lot of things and kind of, put stuff, where it should be. So, but it's been good. Like I said, I'm just happy to be out here throwing the ball around to some really talented guys, having some fun playing some ball.
Matthew, was it almost helpful to immerse yourself in football and get back to everything?
It was tough. It was both. You know what I mean? It was some days I was Kelly had a good night. Some days I was here loving it, and Kelly had a bad night. I was trying to get home as fast as I can. So it's been up and down, just as we kind of expected it to be. But like I said, everybody here has been extremely supportive, and so my teammates have been great too. So they understand. They know that I'm committed. I'm dedicated to this team and our future and our season. But at the same time, a lot of those guys have families too and understand, how important that is as well.
There you go. All right. So you get the feedback. He talks about what went on, hard days, easy days, but support from the team. I mean, it seems like he got everything he needed from the team to help him through here. And it seems in the end that this has really kind of been the ideal path of healing for Kelly and for him to get through this. I mean, there's all kinds of left turns this could have made, and so far so good, right?
Yeah.
All right. I did talk to him a little bit about it when he and I got to know each other at Taste of the Lions. That was good. So, all right, we'll move on. A couple of show notes here. First, the week of June 24th, we're not going to have a show. I'm heading back to Detroit, doing a big thing. May do a couple of YouTube things. We'll see how that goes. And I'm supposed to travel the second week of June as well, but I think we'll be able to make everything work out for that. So we'll get that going. Also on St. Jude, we got a couple of auction items still to go out. We got a person still yet to pay for their auction item, and then some auction items that weren't in our hands that just have to get sent out. I'm holding the people's money until they actually get their hands on the items. I don't want to play with other people's money. I just want to make sure everybody gets what they need. We're going to put it all together. We'll have the report to you. But everything, as always, is above board. We'll have a full report as to what went where and when as soon as all these things finalize. The auction thing, I think, Case, I want to do it next year at the front half so we can do the closeout in the second half of the second month, and we'll make that work. And I'll tell you right now, Dean, who is just, he's Dean. He's not playing Dino anymore. He's put together already a prize for next year that is cool. right. Yeah, I think
I'm so jealous. I just want to enter.
I know it'll blow people's minds. It's going to be great. So good stuff going on there. So a couple last things here. Key NFL dates for the Lions. First, OTA season workouts have started. 2021st, and then also on the 23rd. Nothing on the 22nd, and then 29th through the 31st, and then the 10th through the 13th, and then it is the dead zone. That is the pain train. We got that 1 week off. Case, there probably going to be a couple shorter shows in there, and we'll put our stuff together. There's still some stuff to talk about, but this is the time of year, guys, where we earn our money because we earn our beer because there's not a lot to talk about. So stay with us for those. June 2nd, salary cap designation is the post June 1st cuts, of course. Mandatory mini camp June 4th through 6th. And of course, the ultimate training camp party, August 3rd. Do not miss it. Trust me. I don't overhype things. I hype things, but I don't overhype things. And this one is, I think, probably the biggest event that we've done. It is the biggest event we've done with the most killer ass people and stuff that we've ever had.
I haven't been to it before, so I'm very excited to meet and greet and drink and eat and
you spelled meet MEET, right? Not MEAT.
Both.
Okay, great.
There's not a wrong answer here.
All right, coming up. We'll get through that. That's this week in Reddit. We're going to go ahead and hit it up with the Riz now.